not having much support from my family financially, and all you have to then do is kind of rely on yourself, really. You know, you can't, fellow students are not going to help you much, you know, because they're kind of in the same boat. And it's it's never kind of, it was never kind of a big thing for me that I didn't have money for a long period of time or anything like that. It was like the time lag between having a bit of money and then kind of the few days where you didn't have money, and it really brings you down, you know, because it's essential, you know, it's essential to life, and you kind of, you know, you get really down when you can't hop on the bus somewhere, or you get really down because you can't eat something that you really like, you know. It's affecting people, and it's people don't realize it does, but it really does affect you. And it's not just you go to uni for what, at least 3 years, and then you've got certain courses where you go off for 5 years and stuff like that, and you need to do that throughout these 5 years. It's a long time, you know, to kind of be a young person who doesn't have much support sometimes, and you need to kind of deal with it on your own for these, you know, 5 years. It was 3 years for me. For some people it could be 1 year, or, you know, or a couple of months or something, but it could affect them in the same way that it did affect me. So I think for me it was kind of the financial difficulties that brought me down.
And what do you think when you look back at it? What could the university or the students' union or whoever did better to support you? I didn't apply for anything at university at the beginning, to be honest with you, just because I was in denial a little bit. I know it sounds crazy, but I was in denial, kind of thinking it'll be fine, you know, I'll just deal with it. I'll kind of, yeah, I'll have money in, I don't know, a week or something. I'll just deal with it, you know. So it was kind of like that. So I didn't get any help at the beginning. It was only this year, third year, I kind of sought help, you know, for different grants and emergency funds and stuff like that. And they were actually really helpful in terms of kind of getting back to me quickly. But there's so much you need to do in order to actually get some money in. I was, not long ago, I was in a financial difficulty, and I needed like an emergency fund, because I didn't realise I will be in a financial difficulty. So I didn't have time to plan, to kind of print out statements from my bank and fill in forms and get bus tickets, kind of receipts saved. And you need all of that to actually get like an emergency fund, because they need to kind of, you know how to assess you and stuff like that. So what I found was basically a lot of filling in of the forms and kind of giving proof that you actually are struggling financially. And when it's an emergency, it's an emergency. You kind of, you know, you need it now and then. And I know it needs to be like that in some ways. But then again, I think there could be something done about the fact that you kind of have to prove yourself, you know. When you don't have money, you just don't have money sometimes. Yeah. And what do you think generally about the mental health stigma that we see around us?
Well, I think it's very wrong, and I personally am interested in kind of mental illnesses issue and depression and just kind of the whole topic. And yeah, I think it's just very wrong, and I think it's seen in a different way to what it really is. It's kind of the stereotypical depressed person is always, you know, crying in the corner and always sad, and, you know, they're usually pushed aside because they're not happy, and everything needs to be, you know, everything needs to be so happy, everyone needs to be smiling and positive and all of that. And I think it's not good in a way we see it. And yeah, the stigma kind of makes people isolated even more,